Hello, my friends. Welcome to Luna English Podcast. This is Luna. Today I've been thinking about something gentle but very powerful. The idea that it is never too late to begin again. Many people feel that if time has passed or if mistakes were made, then change is no longer possible. But real life doesn't work like that. Renewal does not need perfect timing or big dramatic moves. It often starts quietly, in the middle of ordinary days, when you are tired, confused, or unsure. This topic matters because many of us carry shame about starting over. We think we should already be better, stronger, or more successful. But life is not a straight line. It moves in circles, pauses, and slow turns. Today, I want to explore how small decisions can gently renew your life. Not overnight, not perfectly, but honestly. When you understand that growth includes falling back and trying again, pressure begins to soften. You start to see that every moment, even this one, can be a fresh start. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait. You can begin where you are, just as you are, and that is already enough. And if this little moment of learning feels helpful to you, I'd be glad if you pressed like and subscribe to the channel. It keeps us connected, and it supports this quiet space where we learn and grow together. Your small action truly helps more listeners find their way here. Why do so many people believe it's too late to change, and why is that belief so strong? It often comes from comparing ourselves to others and to our own past expectations. We look at age, time, and missed chances, and we decide the door is closed. But this idea is not a fact. It is a feeling mixed with fear. When life doesn't go as planned, the mind tries to protect us by saying, "Don't try again, you might fail." This can feel safe, but it slowly limits you. Change does not belong only to young people or lucky moments. It belongs to anyone who is still breathing and thinking. Even small changes matter. Choosing to rest better, to speak kinder to yourself, or to try one small habit again can reopen movement in your life. When you release the belief that it's too late, you create space. Space to learn, to adjust, and to grow slowly. Time will pass anyway. The real question is not how late it is, but how gently you are willing to move forward today. What does personal renewal really mean, and how is it different from changing everything at once? Personal renewal is not about becoming a new person overnight. It is about reconnecting with yourself in a kinder way. Renewal happens when you allow yourself to reset your direction, even slightly. It can mean letting go of heavy expectations and choosing what feels supportive right now. Many people think renewal must look impressive, but often it is quiet. It might be waking up and deciding to try again after a hard week. It might be forgiving yourself for slowing down. Renewal is a process, not a performance. It respects your limits and your energy. When you see life as something that evolves, you stop judging every pause as failure. You begin to understand that rest, reflection, and small shifts are part of moving forward. Renewal does not erase your past, it builds on it. Every experience, even the difficult ones, adds depth. When you renew yourself, you are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience, and that is a strong place to stand. Why do small decisions create such powerful change, even when they feel insignificant? Small decisions work because they are realistic. They fit into real life with all its stress and limits. Big plans often fail because they need perfect energy and perfect days. Small choices can survive hard days. Choosing to breathe before reacting, choosing to try again tomorrow, or choosing to show yourself patience can slowly shift your inner world. These choices build trust with yourself. Each time you keep a small promise, confidence grows quietly. Over time, these moments add up. They change how you see yourself. You move from feeling stuck to feeling capable. Small decisions also reduce fear. They don't ask you to risk everything, they invite you to take one gentle step. When you respect the power of small actions, pressure disappears. You stop waiting for motivation and start moving with intention. This is how renewal stays alive. Not through force, but through consistency and care, repeated in simple ways that feel human and possible. Is failing really a sign of weakness, or is it a natural part of growth? Failure often feels heavy because we attach meaning to it. We think it says something bad about who we are, but failure is simply information. It shows where effort met resistance. Every skill you have today includes moments that didn't work. Growth without failure does not exist. When you accept this, your relationship with progress changes. You stop expecting perfection and start allowing learning. Falling back does not erase forward movement. It adds understanding. When you fail and continue, you build resilience. You learn how to stand again. This is strength, not weakness. Many people stop because they think failure means they should quit. In reality, it often means you are stretching beyond comfort. When you treat failure with curiosity instead of judgment, you stay open. You remain flexible. Renewal becomes possible because you are no longer afraid of imperfect steps. You trust that even mistakes can move you forward. How does shame quietly keep us from starting again, even when we want to? Shame tells us that struggling means something is wrong with us. It whispers that we should hide or stop trying. This feeling is powerful, but it is not helpful. Shame closes the door to renewal because it focuses on blame instead of care. When you carry shame, every new attempt feels risky. You fear being disappointed again. But growth needs safety. Self-compassion creates that safety. When you replace shame with understanding, energy returns. You begin to see that starting over is not embarrassing, it is brave. Everyone restarts in different ways, many times in life. When you allow yourself to begin again without punishment, you move with more ease. Progress becomes lighter. You don't waste energy fighting yourself. Letting go of shame does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means choosing learning over self-attack. This shift opens space for renewal to happen naturally and honestly. What does self-compassion look like in daily life, beyond kind words? Self-compassion is how you respond when things don't go as planned. It is the pause before harsh judgment. It is choosing rest instead of forcing productivity when you are empty. Self-compassion speaks in a calm tone. It says, "This is hard, and you're still allowed to try again." It does not rush you or compare you to others. In real life, it might mean adjusting your expectations. It might mean forgiving a slow week and continuing anyway. This practice builds emotional safety. When you feel safe with yourself, you take more honest steps. You don't quit at the first setback. Self-compassion supports resilience because it allows recovery. It reminds you that worth is not earned through constant success. When you treat yourself with care, renewal becomes sustainable. You are no longer pushing against yourself. You are walking with yourself patiently through change. Why does starting over feel so frightening even when staying the same hurts? Starting over asks us to face uncertainty. The mind prefers familiar pain to unknown possibility. Fear appears to protect us from disappointment, but avoiding renewal often creates deeper regret. Starting again does not mean erasing everything. It means adjusting direction with what you now know. When you understand this, fear softens. You are not going back to the beginning. You are moving forward with more awareness. Fear also grows when we imagine judgment from others. But most people are focused on their own struggles. Your renewal does not need approval. It needs honesty. When you accept fear as part of the process, it loses control. You don't wait for fear to disappear, you move gently with it. This is how courage grows quietly. Starting over becomes less dramatic and more natural, like taking a new breath after holding one for too long. How can you begin again today without pressure or overwhelm? You begin by choosing one small area that feels manageable. You don't redesign your whole life. You simply notice what needs care right now. It could be your thoughts, your routine, or your rest. Starting again can be as simple as deciding to try tomorrow instead of quitting. When you focus on today, the future feels lighter. You also let go of the idea that this start must last forever. It only needs to last for now. Renewal grows through repetition, not intensity. Each gentle restart strengthens trust. Over time, confidence returns naturally. You learn that you can fall back and still move forward. This knowledge is freeing. It removes urgency and pressure. Beginning again becomes a skill you carry with you, not a one-time event. What role does patience play when you are trying to renew your life? Patience allows change to unfold at a human pace. Without patience, you rush and judge every result. With patience, you observe and adjust. Renewal often moves slower than the mind wants, but faster than fear expects. Patience helps you stay present during the process. It reminds you that growth is not measured daily, it is felt over time. When you practice patience, you reduce inner conflict. You stop fighting where you are. This makes effort feel lighter. Patience also helps you trust the process. You don't need constant proof that change is working. You allow space for learning. This mindset supports resilience. Even when progress feels invisible, patience keeps you moving. It turns waiting into preparation, not punishment. How do setbacks fit into growth without stopping your progress? Setbacks are pauses, not endings. They show where adjustment is needed. When you expect setbacks, they lose power. You don't see them as proof that renewal failed. You see them as part of the rhythm of change. Growth moves forward, then back, then forward again. This pattern is natural. When you accept it, you recover faster. You don't waste time blaming yourself. You return to small steps. Setbacks also build awareness. They teach you what support you need. This information strengthens future efforts. When you treat setbacks with calm attention, resilience grows. You become flexible instead of rigid. Renewal stays possible because you no longer demand perfect progress. You simply continue with more understanding each time. Why is your identity flexible, and how does that help renewal? Many people believe identity is permanent. They say, "This is just how I am," but identity changes through choices and experiences. You are not a single version of yourself. You are a process. When you see identity as flexible, starting over feels less heavy. You are not betraying who you were. You are updating who you are becoming. This view allows growth without guilt. You can release old patterns without shame. Renewal becomes a natural evolution, not a rejection. Each decision shapes identity gently. Over time, these choices create change. When you allow identity to evolve, you feel freer. You stop clinging to past labels. You move with curiosity instead of fear. This openness supports long-term resilience and calm confidence. How can you rebuild trust with yourself after many restarts? Trust grows from honesty, not perfection. You rebuild it by making small promises you can keep. Each kept promise sends a message of reliability. Even simple actions matter. When you show up consistently, trust returns naturally. It also helps to forgive broken promises. Self-attack breaks trust further. Understanding repairs it. Trust yourself by noticing effort, not only results. This changes your inner dialogue. You move from criticism to cooperation. Over time, confidence becomes quieter but stronger. You no longer need proof from others. You feel grounded. Renewal becomes something you trust yourself to return to again and again, without fear. What does resilience really mean beyond staying strong? Resilience is the ability to bend without breaking. It is staying open during difficulty. It does not mean pushing through pain. It means responding with care. Resilient people rest, reflect, and return. They allow emotion without losing direction. Resilience grows through compassion and patience. Each restart builds it. When you understand resilience this way, renewal feels supportive, not exhausting. You stop forcing strength. You allow recovery. This approach keeps you moving forward without burning out. Resilience is quiet endurance, guided by self-respect and awareness. Is every moment truly a new opportunity, even after many mistakes? Yes, because life is always moving. Each moment offers choice. You cannot change the past, but you can meet the present differently. Renewal does not depend on history, it depends on attention. When you return to yourself with kindness, you open the door again. You don't need to prove anything, you simply continue. Life evolves through many small renewals. Each one shapes who you become. When you release shame and pressure, starting over feels lighter. You begin to trust the process of living. You see that forward movement is always possible, even now, even here. And if this episode felt helpful or comforting in any way, I'd be grateful if you liked the video and subscribed to the channel. It helps you stay close to the next lesson, and it also keeps this quiet learning space alive and growing.